Hey guys, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof continues to be in the singing. I want to talk about open throat technique and at least my experience of what that is compared to some of the videos that I've seen on the internet. And I've seen some interesting stuff and there's some decent information here and there, but a lot of it is really textbook stuff, and I've not really seen a practical application of how open throat technique works. So the very first thing I want to talk about is laryngeal positions, which means your larynx, okay? Now your larynx for guys, your Adam's apple, so you have this, voice box that kind of goes up and down, and that's your larynx that's in there. And one recent vocal coach, talks about a lowered laryngeal position, a neutral laryngeal position, a raised laryngeal position, and then kind of compartmentalizes all of this stuff. And I want to say that it's not quite that simple. And let me explain why. To have someone's, I don't want to use the word bash, but to say, you don't want to have, here's a lower laryngeal position, here's a neutral laryngeal position, here's a raised laryngeal position, right? So we have these sort of, ways of looking at this. That's not really a good, healthy way to approach this. And let me explain what my experience has been, and if this can be of help to you, then hopefully you'll benefit from this. The first thing is that in belcanto means opera in appoggio. It's the old school style of singing for opera. That's sort of the gold standard to really understand how these laryngeal positions work. To make fun of tenors that have been doing this a long time, a couple hundred years, and make that, mock them in that kind of way for a lower laryngeal position, I don't know that I would be so, I don't know that I would do that for lots of reasons, and let me explain why. Grandpa's been doing this a long time, 35 years. So I've done that. Look me up on IMDb. I've got close to 1,000 songs, or even more maybe than 1,000 songs placed in film and TV. Internet movie database, just check it out. Go to my wiki, you can check out, I've got over 40 records out, and I've written songs with Kiss, and I've done this, and I've done that. So you have these vocal coaches that come out and they say this stuff that's textbook stuff. Okay, this is really important, and they may even at the end of their video give you some theatrical thing or whatever, but listen to their actual voice and ask yourself if you really like it, and see if they display any students that do this and you really like the way their students sound. And here's why that's important. It took me a long time to figure this stuff out. This has been in process. And by the way, as we age, we also have to learn how to control this over time. It's not like once you learn it and you're done. No, you have to continue the process. So I've taken some very prestigious vocal coaches, and I'd love to tell you who they all are, and it would sound too braggadocious, so I'm not even going to talk about it. But what I am going to say is this. What I've learned, and if this helps you, is that if we first train with a lower laryngeal position, it really helps you understand what open throat technique is. Now, is that the end all? No, but here's something I want to put out there to you guys. Is in the world of appoggio, belcanto, opera, is that in the early stages of, let's say, a tenor, and I'm going to talk about guys, and we could talk about female vocals, sopranos, altos, contraltos, etc. in a minute, is that a lower laryngeal position helps us identify how to keep the throat open first. It doesn't mean we're always going to reside in a lower laryngeal position. In fact, that's silly. In fact, I've heard so many vocal coaches, especially SLS vocal coaches, say that you should always be in a neutral position. How stupid is that? The larynx moves up and down all the time. It doesn't matter what you're doing. And if you're at one position in a scale, in a lower register, and you start to go up to a mid-voice register, that neutralizes. And as you go higher, if you allow the laryngeal position to go up like this, you inhibit range and you lock down the larynx to where you're not able to go up really high. Up to something really high, okay? And again, guys and gals are different. Their vocal cords are about half the size of men, so I can't go into all the details of this now, but I'm just talking about how open throat works. Now, what I've learned, and I hope you'll benefit from this, so really listen closely, guys. This is golden information. If you're talking to a guy that's toured for 30 some odd years, not some guy that sits behind a piano in a climate-controlled studio that's parroting something from a textbook, look me up, look up the stuff that I've done, I'll explain this to you. When you train a lower laryngeal position, you're able to open up your throat. And you know, what is a throat and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Your throat is your throat, guys. Go in a mirror. Doctor wants to see your tonsils. Ah, la, ah, ah, ah. Just look at the back of your throat. We want the tongue drop to the base of the jaw first, okay? We want the back of the throat, and this other vocal coach was kind of mocking the uvula approach and soft palate approach, but that matters. It matters a lot, actually. And it matters even more the higher up you go, so that uvula rises even higher as you go, and the soft palate rises higher as you go to create maximum space. If we don't do that, we actually pinch off and choke off the back of the throat, and then we're straining ourselves to get to instead of like, you know, having a lot of good open throat as we go up. This is really important. So what I've learned, again, this is just me talking, do it, this whatever you want with this information. In the ah vowel, and I'm going to go through the vowels, all the vowels in a second. The ah vowel is the biggest vowel that we have, and it's the most difficult to train. That's why all vowel sounds stem from it's the la, ah. We open up that vowel. There's something called vocal tract shaping, and hopefully I'll remember to get to this in a second, is that within that ah vowel, if we can train that ah vowel open first to keep all this open mechanism in the back. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to a mirror. I want you to grab a handheld mirror, and I want you to just simply go la. And I want you to watch the position of your tongue. And you're going to see that your tongue swells up, and you start to gag on your tongue, right? Just trust me on this. Go to a mirror or get a handheld mirror and watch yourself do this. If you drop the larynx, your voice box down, you're going to find that you can maintain and build muscle memory to hold the larynx down. This is really important. It's an anchor. Let me say this again. It's an anchor for your ability to control the larynx, okay? So it's a pillar that you build your voice on. When we talk about laryngeal positions, just because we talk about a lowered laryngeal position doesn't mean we always reside in a lowered laryngeal position, okay? Let me say this again. We don't always sing like this. In fact, I'm going to insert something really funny for you guys. I have an assistant named Bob, so Bob, when you can, if you can insert, I did a couple lower laryngeal position songs. One of them is Lowrider, okay? And we're going to show this clip in a minute. And another one is Johnny Cash, Rings of Fire. And I use a lowered laryngeal position through the whole song, okay? But I can sing with any position I want. But I'm going to get back to why this is important in a second. But we're going to play the clip. Bob, if you play the clip now, let's do it.
Low, right, good, don't use no gas now. Low, right, good, don't drive too fast now. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip and see. And low rider, don't drive too fast now.
So if you can tell, this isn't just a lower larynx position, this is a drop larynx position, kind of like a gospel quartet and country sort of combined. I'm going to drop it even farther in this chorus here. Ready? Let's keep going, Nick. Here we go.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, 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 and the flames are getting higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Okay, so like I said, you can see there's a difference between a lower larynx position, la, la. Very big difference. One is just a lowering, taking the pharynx, keeping it flat horizontally straight, and taking your whole larynx and lowering it. And so it's a la, a la is lowered, and dropped is a la. Completely taking the entire larynx itself and dropping it all the way to the floor.
Okay, we chose a couple little pieces out of that clip to show you a lowered laryngeal position. And why that's important is it shows that I can maintain a lower laryngeal position. But then how is it possible if I can sing in this position, but then sing and connect the sound and go up really high and release to a neutral position. I never go to a raised position. A raised position would be this. And you're caught. Okay. Now I know there's a lot of pop artists, Rihanna and like all these people do, Britney and all these people do all these raised positions. And there are people that can do it and do it well. In fact, Paul Rogers does this on the Baby, when I think about you, I think about love. Or Paul Carrick, tempted by the fruit of another. He uses a raised position. But if you notice when they go up, hey, they open up the sound and they drop the larynx. So to say that you're going to sing only in one position and only in this position and only in that position is kind of ludicrous to me. Again, it's just Ken Tamplin talking. I'm just trying to give you good quality information. Let's get back to a lowered larynx. Oh wait, I was gonna talk about a neutral position. Bob, if you don't mind playing the clip, let's grab Steelheart, for example, where I shift between a neutral position. I have to drop the larynx as I go through passaggio, and then I have to come back to a neutral position as I go up really high. Check out this clip.
I'm wasted away. Forgive me, won't you save me?
Okay, now there's other times you can do it, and use the John Fogerty clip here, Bob. Use Fortunate Son, where you sing in a just a slightly lowered position, like Wilson Pickett, which we just did a whole thing here recently on open throat technique. Where I use a lowered position and then I move it to a neutral position. Check out this Fortunate Son clip.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, blue. And when the band plays hail to the chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no senator's son, son. It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one, no, no.
Okay, why this is important is because when we learn and we train the voice in a lowered position, we can hold down the soundboard of the voice. When we can hold this down, then we can relax it and move it into a neutral position. When we're in a neutral position, or we try to learn only from neutral position, the default, or what most people do is, as they ascend a scale or a passage, they go to a raised position. And then all of a sudden, they get caught in the throat, right? Now, there are great artists that do this. Like I said, I talked about, Paul Rogers. Glenn Hughes is like and he's got this great, sort of throaty thing. Sam and Dave, we just talked about this in another video. Well, this becomes more of a stylistic thing because I've heard Glenn do this without having to raise the position. But what we do is, again, first, we train first the lowered laryngeal position. Once we've mastered that and we get the feeling of it, well, I'm going to back up. Sorry, a lot of information. In belcanto, when kids are being raised to understand how to sing with these different laryngeal positions, they cannot touch an aria, which is a big musical piece in Italian, for 4 years. I want you to think about this. For 4 years, they train vowels in different laryngeal positions. Think about that, okay? What I did was develop something that showed that if you train a lowered position first, and you maintain that lowered position, to where you understand when you relax the position to a neutral position, and if you want to raise it to a raised laryngeal position, then all of a sudden you have total command, total control of this, and you can get there a lot quicker. You don't have to do it in 4 years, you can do it in 6 months, okay? Straight up. if you do it every day, about an hour, hour and a half a day, 5 days a week. And sorry, for those of you that want to take the quick pill and get it, do it faster than that, it ain't going to happen that way because we're in the gym and we're working out and this is what we have to do. Now, we want to use these different positions all throughout the spectrum of the voice. But there's two elements that are missing, big ones. The first one is remember I just said that all vowel sounds stem from it's the la, ah, and it was a real open sound? Well, guess what? When I go ah, a, and I spread the pharynx, which is just the mouth, right? When I spread the pharynx, all of a sudden the sound closes down. So if I haven't trained a lowered laryngeal position first, I have no way of really identifying how that really feels in the throat when the throat itself closes down as the pharynx is spread. This is really important. Why? Because we don't sing only one vowel, ah. And we sing many different vowels through the spectrum of the voice. And as we go through raising going up in range, up and down in range, we find that we have to change this laryngeal position. And also, there's another huge element to this, which are glottal stops, or things that close down the back of the throat. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that we want to reside in something called contiguous phrase singing. Contiguous phrase singing is that we want to keep that vowel open as long as we can without closing it down with consonants. Well, it turns out to be this is extremely important because every time you close a consonant down, it closes off the back of the throat. It wants to shoot air up into the velar nasal port. By the way, fancy terms for all this stupid stuff. Not stupid, but I try to keep things so simple. I don't love complicating stuff, and you find yourself using technical terms you hope people will understand. Going into the nose, and so as it goes into the nose, then the throat is going, hey man, what's wrong with you? Do you want this to come out of the mouth, or do you want this to come out of the nose? Could you make up your mind here? Or both, right? So what we want to do, contiguous phrase singing, is we want to have the sound, or in fact, Steve Perry and Sam Cooke, I just did a vocal demonstration on this, and I'm not sure when I'm going to air all this stuff. But if you listen to A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke, and you listen, I was born by the river. I didn't go, I was born by the river. Because every time I close down a consonant sound, I have to reopen the throat and then get back to that placement that I had, depending on where I am in the range. Well, man, if you think that's tough, and you think that you're going to only reside in a neutral position, or a raised laryngeal position, or a lower position, you got another thing coming. Now, again, I want to say this again. Check out whomever you get your information from. Do they sing great? Not just sing, do they sing great? Like, do you want to sound like them? And do they display students that sing great? This is so important because I could sit there and I could be some guy that gets on the internet and reads all kinds of technical stuff and regurgitate this stuff to you. Or I could put my heart on a sleeve and put my heart on a line and actually demonstrate and show you. This is very, very important. So as we go up and down a scale, if we only train a neutral position, a neutral laryngeal position, as we ascend, there's a 95, I'm doing this for 35 years, 95% of the people I've trained default to a raised position. So they'll go, and they'll get caught in a raised position. If you train a lower position first, this is old school belcanto, guys. You train a lower position first, and then you relax to a neutral position, and you understand the soundboard, how to move that soundboard first. By anchoring it to a lowered position, it doesn't mean you're sentencing yourself to sing in a lowered position all the time. It just means you understand it.
I would wrap you in the heavens till I'm dying on the way. Feel like making love. spend my time waiting on your call. How can I tell you, babe, my back's against the wall. I need you by my side to tell me it's alright, 'cause I don't think I can take anymore. Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love that I've been searching for? Is this love, or am I dreaming? This must be love, 'cause it's really got a hold on me. It's got a hold on me, babe. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, thought he passed his own shadow by the backstage door. Breaking track to the past, that day in the rain, that one guitar made his whole life change. Now he needs to keep it rocking, ain't never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking, that's why it's got to stay on top. If they're jukebox hero, stars in his eyes. He's a jukebox hero, stars in his eyes. Yeah, jukebox hero, stars in his eyes. That one guitar, she'll come alive tonight. I know that I must do what's right. Sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti, I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I become. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do those things we never had. Ooh.
used to be. Oh, but since I met you, baby, love's got a hold on me. Oh, it's got a hold on me. Yeah, it's got a hold on me now. I can't stop loving you, baby. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream
As you've seen some of these different positions, you see that this can be done in all kinds of different ways. Now, here's where this gets equally interesting. We talked about the vowels themselves. Well, the vowels, if you go to an E, E is the most pharyngally spread vowel that we have, E, all of a sudden, larynx goes up, right? But if you've trained a lower laryngeal position, I can actually maintain the A vowel or a different vowel modification to hold it at bay so that I don't get caught in the throat. Anyway, guys, I could go on and on and on about this. I have a singing course called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. I cover all this in the course. If you guys want to check it out, cool. Hopefully this information was beneficial to you, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about this in future sessions. So thank you for joining me. Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. Peace out.
Won't you help me